There, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel and welcome to another day of Confessions of a Paper Addict's 20 Days of Cutfiles. I'm sorry this is going up just a little bit late in time. Same day, but just a little bit later. I got a little bit behind, so bear with me. I am using this title cut file. It just says December 25, and I really liked the playfulness of it, so I'm kind of going with a little bit more of a playful look on this layout. And our prompt today is family, so I've got some pictures of my grandma and my uncle and my aunt, and then my other uncle is in the other photo as well. So what I'm documenting here is how my uncles and their wives would come for Christmas when my grandma was alive, especially as she got up there in age. She passed away when she was like in her late 90s, and so the last few years they made it a big effort to be sure and come, because you never know when it's going to be your last Christmas. I mean, that's true in any time of life, because things happen, but especially when you get up there in age. So I'm documenting how special it was for her to have all three of her kids at the same place for the holiday season. So because I wanted to make this a little bit more playful, I had backed the little ornaments there with some mirror paper that I got from a friend. It's like very shiny, and I had chosen this kind of pinkish purple color without really knowing what else I was going to do with the cut file, and so I kind of had to play on that color, and so that's why I went with that kind of purpley fuchsia color. Pardon me. And then so what I did was I found some paper that I had in my stash of Christmas paper. This is from Photoplay's Snowball Fight, and it has that same color in it. But I didn't want to use the lime, not really lime green, but the brighter green that's off to the right hand side that has more yellow in it. I wanted the more blue-based green that I am using for the background paper, because that's the color of both my uncle's shirts in the photo, and the couch that they're sitting on is more in that color scheme than the more yellow-based green. So, and I thought it was really fitting to use a paper that says Merry Christmas all over it, since it is Christmas Day, and the title says December 25th, so that is like definitely Christmas Day. So I am just going to go ahead and back it. I'm not going to show you all of how I back it, but I show you, this one step at least, or at least one piece being backed. I just traced around the outside of it and then cut slightly inside my traced lines so that it would fit. I also have this cut file shrunk down quite a bit. You could make it full, like the full size of the page, but I shrunk it down a little bit so the lines are a little more narrow than they would be if it was larger. And then the back of the polka dot paper is that stripe, which is what I used for the December 25th. And then I decided I would make the hat just the red. The hat is outlined in a red ink versus that purple ink, and I think that looks fine. Because that striped paper and the polka dot still has red polka dots in it. It has actually green and blue and red. It's got like all of the colors in it. So I'm just playing on that. I know that's hard to see on your screen, but it does work well. Now, I wasn't sure what I was going to do here, but I pulled in that notebook paper that was on the right-hand side just to see what it looked like. And then I decided I was going to do it on both sides, but I had to cut a new one because that was cut out of a different white cardstock. And so it just had like a bluer effect to it, the original one. So then I went and I cut two pieces out of the same cardstock that I used to back my photos. Now I do want to make it a little bit different. I don't want to just leave it white, so I am using the Seedless Preserve Distress Oxide ink to just ink up the edges to bring in more of that color and just have kind of a play on that purple. The more you bring it in, the more it looks like it's supposed to be there. And in fact, on the right-hand photo, I am all the way on the excuse me, I'm all the way on the right-hand side, and my shirt is that same color as the purple, so it works well. Even though I'm not like the focal point of the photo, I'm actually cut off quite a bit, but that's okay. I don't mind that. And then I'm kind of stacking my photos up here. I'm using the blank space in the photos to kind of overlap the photos and the cut file so that it looks, so that it can fit on the page, because if I didn't do that, there was way too much real estate taken up vertically. So I had to kind of overlap things, and I don't mind that. There was just a lot of negative, I'm saying negative space, but it's a lot of blank space in the photos that was not necessary to be in the photo. It's not telling any part of the story or anything. And again, I have all of these photos digitally, so if for some reason I wanted to scrapbook them or use them without having the cut file on top or without having them overlapped, again, I can always reprint them. It's not a big deal. Then I'm going to go ahead and back my entire layout on white paper that I also inked up with that same Seedless Preserve. I did trim down that green paper by 1/8 of an inch on all 4 sides. And so it kind of brings in more of that same purplish pink color. It is, I guess it's technically purple, but it's kind of towards the pinkish side of purple. Or the reddish side of purple. And so I went through my ephemera from this Kaisercraft collection that was completely all like purple and silver, and pulled out some of those snowflakes. I don't end up using any of the pieces that have phrases on them. I end up just using the snowflakes, a star, and one of the reindeer. And I really like the way that it looks. It looks really good. I am going to use that piece I just tucked in, but I'm going to cut it in half so I can split it between the 2 photos, or the 2 photo mats. Actually, it's not photo mats, the 2 journaling areas. And while I'm thinking about it, I'm just kind of looking to see if there's anything else that I might want to use out of that pack. And then I decide that the little purplish reindeer needs some differentiation between him and the snowflake. So I just inked him up a little bit so that he kind of stands out just a little bit more. Just the edges to make him pop a bit. Now I decided I don't want to bring in the lavender one. I'm not really trying to go with a purple layout. I'm trying to keep it the green and the purple. So I don't want to mix my purples up, if you will. So there I've cut that other little decorative element in half, and I'm tucking it under each side. And I am going to use some foam tape to pop those snowflakes up and give them a little added dimension. And I'm just using Fun Foam from Walmart. I apologize, it's really early in the morning. At least for me, it's early in the morning while I'm trying to voice this. And my throat is not caught up with being awake. So again, popping that up onto some Fun Foam. That's the stuff from Walmart. It's adhesive on one side, stuff I always use. And again, I don't worry about whether or not it's acid free, because like I said, it is, I have all my photos digitally, so it's not really going to be anything that bothers me if if it does something to the photos or anything. And I do have scrapbooks that go way back to the 1950s. And back then, I don't know that acid-free was a thing, but my grandma used to make those types of scrapbooks, and things have held up over time. Yeah, there's some yellowing where some of the tape is, but it's not turned the pictures yellow or anything, so I'm not really 100% worried about it. At least in my lifetime, I think these will be fine. And, I'm not really 100% sure that my family or my kids are going to keep every single page that I've made. They might keep some of them. So, like I said, it's not a huge concern. And a lot of this that I do for my own well-being. This is really a therapeutic kind of a craft for me, or hobby for me. And so I'm going to do what makes me happy. So this is what makes me happy. Using this Tim Holtz phrase book, and this is a current phrase book. You can get it right now. It's from his latest release, or his latest Christmas release. And so I'm just pulling a couple of phrase stickers from that, and I'm going to layer those up on top of these snowflakes, and then I'm going to just glue those down with a little liquid glue because they don't stick great. While I do that, I'll remind you there are a bunch of people playing along with the hop today, so all of the links are in my description box down below. If you have questions or comments, you can also leave those down below, and I will get back to you as quickly as I can. I'm a bit behind in answering, but I do read them all, and I do respond to every single one of them. So I just added my journaling, and then I'm going to date stamp in the blank white space there, And that is pretty much going to do it for this layout. I hope that you have enjoyed today's layout. And if you have questions or comments, like I said, leave those below and I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. Thank you so much for watching and taking the time to spend with me today. I hope that you are having a wonderful holiday season. I will see you guys again tomorrow with not one, but 2 layouts. And one of them is not Christmas related or cut file related. So if you are not into cut files, I hope you come and join me for that video. Thanks so much. I will see you guys again tomorrow. Bye-bye.